Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Building Empires Network. Today we have a very, very special guest, old school G, right?
OG.
That we would call him Mr. AC Ramos.
Mr. AC Ramos.
Made me feel older.
No, guys, it was
Mrs. AC Ramos.
That's new generation stuff.
No, but you guys, so yes, I want to introduce you to AC, and AC, tell us a little bit about you.
All right. So I guess a little bit about me is I've been doing real estate for over 22 years now. And I started in rehabbing first, and then like I was saying, I kind of fell into rehabbing when I came out of prison for the second time when I was 21 years old. Fell into rehabbing, actually flipped my dope house. Was the first house I ever flipped. And it was not too far from here, Spring Branch. And then from there, I rehabbed till about 2003. And then I didn't know about hard money or private money. So I kind of got stuck in a project with my aunt, who was my,
only need dope money.
Yeah, right. That was all gone. So my aunt was actually my business partner. She's more like my mom though, Lucille. And she funded the flips and everything. And I didn't know about private money or hard money, but she was using her 401k or IRA, whatever she rolled over. Right. And I didn't know that was private money, but that's how we were funding everything. So when we got into a deal that was actually not far from here on Libby, we sold it, but owner finance. So we weren't getting paid out for 4 years.
Right.
So at that point we were just, how do you flip houses with no money? So, and I didn't know about hard money, private money, none of that. So I was kind of dead in the water. That's when I lost everything. The second time, had a townhouse we were living in with me and my first wife and my first son. And then we ended up living in a storage room.
Oh, wow.
In that storage room behind my aunt's house. It was a 12 by 10. It was a nice storage room, though.
Oh,
it was very nice.
When you said storage room, I was picturing somewhere in a storage facility.
Yeah. No, it was like in the backyard. We moved all the weed whackers and the lawnmowers out, put an air conditioner and heater in there and carpet. Okay. So it was kind of nice. It was nice. It's now you could probably rent that as a tiny home.
Exactly.
But we ended up in there, and I had cable in there because I ran it from the big house and stuff. And ended up seeing an infomercial. Do you want to learn how to flip houses with no cash, no credit, no experience, no brains? And I was like, that's me.
Hey, I have them all.
I fit all those categories. So, and then I convinced my aunt to go with me to like, so now like the way we do our business seminars, all this kind of stuff, like is kind of where I started. That's why I believe in them so much is because I went to the free class. In the free class, we signed up for a smaller class and then we signed up for a bigger weekend class. And like they were trying to sell us a package like 50,000 and like I didn't have it. I lived in a storage room. My aunt could only fund like up to like 11. And then they were like, okay, I'll tell you what, we'll give you one class for 11,000. What do you need to know? And I had my real estate license. Right. And I was like wholesaling because I cannot figure out how you flip a house with no money.
Right.
Like literally, I thought it was a scam. Right. I was a realtor and I remember being in the living room and me and my cousin, my aunt all had our real estate license. I was like, it's a scam. It's a scam. Like there's no way you could flip a house. We looked into every loan, everything you could do. There's no way you could flip a house with no money.
That's what a lot of realtors think too.
And it is. I was one of them.
Yeah.
I was one of them. So then, got into the wholesaling in 2004. And that's what was a game changer for me. So my aunt put 11,000 on her American Express card. And it said, you have like 30 to 60 days to pay this off to make this back. And I was like, no pressure. So 28 days. I remember I went to the class, everything. And there was a guy in Dallas, Fort Worth named Jimmy Reed who taught for Russ Whitney. Actually, I met Russ Whitney actually and told him this story. And it was pretty cool. But then I went to Russ Whitney's classes and learned. And Jimmy Reed was the mentor in Dallas, Fort Worth. And I remember leaving. He's 150 people in this class, right?
Yeah.
Some paid up to 70,000 to be there.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And he said, out of 150, maybe 2 of you will be successful in this because it's hard. It's work. It is. And I said, dude, I'm going up and I'm going to make sure he knows. I said, look, hey, nice to meet you. And I just want to let you know, I'm going to be one of those 2. And he was like, awesome. Next. And I was like, man,
they all say that. Yeah. They all say that.
Yeah. So then on day 28, though, coming back from that class. So November 22nd of 2004 was my first day back from that class. And starting on a Monday, I put my little card table out in my storage room and started doing everything they said. And then my first wife came home crying at noon. And I was like, dude, like, how did I mess this up already? And she handed me a bag from Walgreens with 3 pregnancy tests. So we were pregnant with our second son
Oh my God.
in a storage room, and I was like, "Don't tell nobody."
Yeah, I didn't waste no time.
They said in 30 days you can make $5,000 and put a $5,000 check in your pocket. So I was like, "Look, that's what I'm gonna do, and I'll figure out the rest." On day 28, I hit my first deal for $14,000.
Nice.
And I was able to pay back the $11,000, and then we got an apartment off of Ella and 18th Street. Was really crappy, but I thought it was badass at the time. It was a castle to me.
I know that feels good.
And then $1,500 into marketing, which at the time was a lot of bandit signs, stuff like that. And then I hit another deal for $8,000, $6,000, $4,000, $12,000. I ended up making $169,000 that first year wholesaling.
Wow,
That was good.
Nice.
We moved out of the storage room within 30 days. Like, so that 28th day I hit
nice.
it, and then we moved right out to the apartment. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how I got started into the wholesaling game, going through rehabbing into wholesaling. And then I just wholesaling. The reason I'm big on wholesaling, because I do a little bit of everything. We own apartment buildings. We have single family rentals, stuff like that. But
Airbnb.
and Airbnb also, But the game changer for me is wholesaling because I know what it did for me.
Right.
You know, in a time where there's no way I could have gotten into real estate in any other way.
Right.
And then now have teaching so many people, seeing people take it and use that vehicle to produce millions in some cases.
Right.
So that's why I'm a big proponent of wholesaling.
Right.
Mhm.
And I can tell you that I was one of the little prodigies.
Yes, you were.
I was one of the prodigies. I remember meeting AC. I took my little colorful book.
I was about to say, I was like, see, it's funny because you came in and she acts all innocent, and I didn't know much about real estate. She said, but I got 400 doors. Or whatever.
It was 80. It was 80 at this time. It was 80. Yeah.
Only 80.
Yeah.
But like, so I appreciate everything you say, but you were not so innocent. You knew some stuff. It was all you needed was some fine tuning.
That's what it was. And
it was good though.
And and I tell people, sometimes you don't need the whole 50, 60, 70, 80,000. You need the relationship and that pivotal point. And I hit that pivotal point when I went there. And I went to my husband and I told him, I said, hey, this is a wife always doing something different. Herbalife, Mary Kay, blah, 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 all kinds of shit. So when I went to my husband and I said, hey, I need this money. I think you went ahead and said you and Daisy can come for like $450. And I was like, okay. And so I went in and told my husband, I said, look, he said that I can go and I can take Daisy. And then he was like, no, you do so much shit. And I was like, okay, so put on the thinker cap. What do I do?
The husband reaction.
Yeah, the husband reaction. Well, here comes the hustle reaction. I said, you know what? We got a hardware store. I'm going to go and I'm going to make tacos. Within that 1 week, I got my $450 showed up, paid my little price, and I made tacos.
So she has a story for you too.
Yeah.
She made it.
And I made them tacos, and I went to AC, and I did not even have a debit card. I went with cash. They looked at me crazy.
Like, she must be a stripper.
Yeah. I knew, girl. On a telephone pole.
Hey, for the elderly.
Yeah, I'm mid-aged.
I'm mid-aged.
That's funny.
No, but it was so crazy because Daisy pregnant as hell, barely walking. And I was like, we're going to do this, Daisy. So we're sitting there and we're like, we did it. So I didn't get to take the higher class, but I said, you know what? I'm going to have to make this work. Well, I barely had enough for the regular little entry part. But if you follow the instructions, I should have sold more tacos. Yeah, but if you get into that pivotal point, like right now, it's a pivotal point. A lot of people, we just had somebody, call for us and they wanted us to mentor them, train them. But when we told them one price, and I think we said like freaking $1,200, and they were like,
I didn't even talk to them. I would have
been
like 5,000.
She would have said 5,000 right on the nickel. But
that definitely was not me.
It takes time.
Yeah,
it takes time.
Well, we pay so much to learn. Yeah. I mean, I'm always paying for education, so, and it ain't no 5,000.
Yeah, and the seminars, no, and you have to understand, because now I understand. In the beginning, I didn't understand, but somebody is actually giving you a business in a box. I have people calling me all the time. Hey, I took this class, but I don't understand the contract. So why are you calling me? You took a class. Go back to that person, because I don't know what contract they gave you. I don't know this and that. And it's not that you're being sour or an asshole. There's legalities behind all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
And if you didn't teach this person, you don't know if they have the ethic, the moral, or even to communicate the deal right. Did you really look up that person? Did you use the title company we recommended, or did you just go with whoever? And so it's a lot of things.
Well, and it's kind of like what he said, like a lot of people, when you go, because when I got mentored by Rafael, there was a lot of people that started there, and a lot of them are not even doing it anymore. So it's like not everybody is going to take that action. I started twice already, like literally from bottom again. And so if I would have been like, oh, I'm done, or this didn't even work, it would have been that. So
you could have easily chose to say that.
Right. Exactly. Right. So to me, it's like, man, do you really have that hunger, that commitment that you're going to have to go all in, do whatever it takes? There's going to be sleepless nights. There's going to be times where you feel like you're going under, and you have to hang in there, in the ride, and just kind of go through the motions and go through whatever you got to go through. And it's not going to stop.
No.
It's kind of like that meme where they say, like the straight line is like the easy way, get a job, do this. And then entrepreneurs like going like this. You start over, you make it, you do it again.
Especially if you have ADD like me, I feel like I learn everything so much slower than other people. And I'm like, I got to do like 5 more times and I'll get it. But I'll get it, and I feel like that even makes me more like a fighter, right? Because I'm like, oh, and I don't understand. I'm like, I know eventually I'm going to get it, and that's how I know I learn. Like I have to go through trial and error. If you tell me, hey, la la la, I'm like, okay, yeah, well, I gotta go through it, and then let me fail there a little bit, and then I know really how to. But some people is like they are afraid because they're like, I don't know how to do this yet, or I haven't learned that. Just go, just jump, just like
a lot of people are real scared of novation. Very scared.
I love novation.
And like you have to know what the novation is, but
they can be scary.
A little bit, but I think it's more permissible. Like you're getting more permission to do more with the property than wholesaling. I think it just has a little bit more. Well, it's just like a net listing, so it's they're listing it.
Yeah, just to kind of touch base on that. To me, I know a lot of people do things very different. I do a net listing on a property if I'm not going to do no repairs, right? Because I know I'm like, oh, but if I'm going to do some repairs and I'm going to touch it, I'll do a novation because they're like more locked in with me. Right. They cannot back out. And not only that, one thing I've learned to wait until you get title commitment from like the title company, because some people start the rehab or whatever, and then they're like, oh shit, it has liens or it has this. You don't even know if you can sell it.
All right.
So wait till you get that first, and then start to do any kind of repairs and stuff.
Right.
What I've noticed about the novation thing is like that everybody's calling a novation now is what we used. So in our contracts, we always had that we could list it on the MLS, do whatever, and then we would just list it on the MLS because back in the day you could do that track in mind.
Right.
Now they want you to be on the deed or have the power of attorney or attorney in fact to do it, and that's the only difference. But I love that you can do that because so what I would do is more like the wholesale stuff. Like if you get a wholesale price on something, because we got one for like 77 one time, and we turned around and just put it on the MLS and sold it for 119. Cash, like in 11 days.
Right.
So but we didn't touch it. We didn't do any work. We cleaned it up a little bit, and that was it. Those are perfect.
I love those like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and if I can still do them like that, I'll do them that way.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I love about the novation, and everyone does them different. I make up my own as I go. I don't go by the rules. Like everyone
not a one
does,
size fits all.
because see too, like I have other ways. They're like, well, you got to do this. The title company will also, make you like, hey, make sure you get just an addendum or make amendments. They agree to this, and then you got it done. But one of the things that I'm doing with one right now that I just got recently is I'm just paying the guy. Whatever the renters were paying him, I'm paying him that, and he's allowing me to whatever I want to do.
Right.
So
as long as his income keeps coming, that's all he cares about.
So we agreed on a price of $150, and then I'm paying him $1,500 a month until I sell the house. So, but I did it under a novation because I am gonna go repair it and all of that. But it could be also like a lease option. I don't know. It could be anything. So.
Very
There's
flexible.
so many things and creative ways you can do it, because I'd rather pay him than I pay my lenders because I got to put points, I got to pay closing costs. So I'm saving on all of that and just paying him $1,500 and then pay closing costs only on it once rather than twice. And then I'm going to do repairs to that property.
Right.
Oh,
So
yes, that's perfect.
I love that. That works for me. But it's so many different ways, so you just have to be creative, make sure the title company understands what you're doing and make sure the seller understands. And I think, you're good. You can call it whatever you want. Vacation.
Novation, vacation.
Hey, go on a vacation. We got this. That's funny. But you got to be creative,
Yeah, you
right?
gotta be creative.
Make a win-win situation with seller and yourself.
I think that kind of goes back to something you said a minute ago that I want to touch on is like you said, it's like, well, like, what do you really want to put into this? Like, some people like quit before it's like, I tell people all the time and my students, how bad do you want it?
Yeah.
Because how bad you want it is going to determine how creative you'll get with it.
Exactly.
Will you go and learn these new things? Will you put the effort into doing it? Or are you just going to say, man, sellers suck, I'm going to go back to my job.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I think like there's so many avenues in this business, which is what I love.
It is.
That's what I love about
There
real
is.
estate.
I will tell you one thing that you can never take. They could take everything from you, but they cannot take what's in
The
here.
knowledge, of
They
course.
could strip you. IRS can strip you. They could take you to jail, put you in a yellow jumpsuit, striped, whatever. And
you come back learning more.
You come back, and you don't even have to learn
Just
more.
the wrong
They
place
can't
to
take
go.
what you know. They can't take what you know. Like we just went through the fire, and imagine if that was the only thing I had. So what do I do? Go back to my wholesale game, make a couple bucks and keep on going. I mean, you can make so much with wholesaling. It's ridiculous. If you are in to do it. If you're not in to do it, you're not going to make nothing. If you're just in to network and rub elbows, then that's not it. If you're
free
not
beers and free food,
right?
networking.
That's right.
Yeah, you have to understand. We went to an event yesterday. That shit was off the wall. I mean, they had an agenda and they went question.
They had their shit together pretty much.
Yeah. Oh my God. I felt dirty. I was like, I'm a rugrat in
She
here.
feels stressed.
Not worthy. Not worthy.
Yeah, not worthy. Yeah. I was like, man, but these women, I mean,
I
were
love
there
it. They were different.
for that. And I was like, wow. Like, and it's a time and a place, and I get it. But it's like I was telling people, sometimes it's not quantity, it's quality.
Yes.
It's the quality where we're not wasting our time on you or you on us. And that's what is so important. And that's why people choose to coach and mentor than sometimes just seminar all the time, because the seminar people are the ones that are bitching.
Yes.
Versus the ones that are really investing and really doing, because they're not
Very
doing.
true.
The ones that are going to pay are the ones that are going to take action, because they're going to be like, heck yeah. If you do it for free, that's not going to be serious, because nothing had to require me to learn this. So why should I even apply this to my life rather than like, man, I just paid when I paid. And let me tell you my story. Okay. I can't really kind of say all my story, but I got to leave some facts out. But, my brother actually gave me money to invest, for him. And I was like, oh, well, damn, shit. Why are you giving it to me? I don't even know what I'm doing yet. Like, I'm barely getting started into this. But I went to a mentorship, and it was $20,000. And I'm like, damn, that's already half of the money he's giving me that I'm going to give away. So I had to really make a decision right there. Like, what am I going to do with this money? Right. I have to do something. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I just said, okay, I'm going to invest it, but I have to make sure I'm going to go all in. It has to be serious. It's a lot of pressure, and that's what it was. It was. And once I learned and implemented everything, I mean, it was from 0 to 100 really quick. We started doing a lot of deals, started making some money. In 1 month, I mean, we were like at 80,000 profit. I was like, shit, this works,
It really works.
But I had to take that leap of faith.
To do that without mentorship. See, that's what people don't understand is the cost of what is it costing you to not get a mentor? What is it costing you? And I'm not just saying that because I mentor, I'm saying it because like I pay mentors.
Yeah.
I buy almost every course that comes out just to learn, and a lot of it's always the same stuff.
Right.
But if you get one nugget of something,
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
And I do the same thing too, because even like what I learned from Raphael, that's not what's happening no more. You know, that changed within a year.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that was it. So then I have to hire a mentor. Like the same mentor is not going to get you to where you want it. Now you got to get one, because what happens, you hit the ceiling, right?
Yep.
So you're like, damn, I'm not going up because this is all you knew. So then you got to hire a mentor to take you from the 6 figures to the 7 figures.
Yeah.
And then that's how it is. And then a 7 figure, you got to hire another mentor to take you from 7 to 8. So you're never going to stop. I wouldn't want to stop, you know, getting mentor, because that's how you come up, you know, from one level to another.
I'm laughing, and it's funny because I know y'all can see my damn smile over here, but I'm laughing at myself because I went to an event, 2-3 months ago, when I was telling you, and they were like, what is 6 figure, 8 figure, 7 figure, 8 figure? And I was like, remember, I was like, what is figure? They go, well, that's multiplied by the digits in your account.
Your revenue.
And then I was like, no,
Yeah, like, hey, and she said, I started counting. She's like, I started counting mine, and she's like, well, I'm 8.
Right there.
I'm close to 10.
Yeah, 10 was right there, and I was like,
she's like, where's your 8-figure seats at, please?
Yeah, right.
Dude, and you know what? When you walk in and you're humble-minded and you don't have that I know it all, and you can be teachable and trainable. When I go to somebody like AC or anybody, even Jesus, I take off whatever crown I think I'm wearing, and I walk in and choose and choose. Choose and chocolate.
You're choosing chanclas. Don't forget to pack your choosing chanclas.
It came out. But I do. Yeah, it came out. The choose came out. But I put on my shoes and chanclas and you know, or my chongo and chanclas. And what I do is,
girl, make up your mind.
But you have to go in with that empty head. You can't go in big headed. You really have to deflate. You have to deflate. Yeah. And people walk in with, you know, this is one thing I tell everybody. You do not walk in with the car you rode in on, the house you live in, and your bank account. If you walk in with your bank account and written on your forehead, you're a damn fool. You know, because they're just going to take you for what you got. Walk in as a person. Let somebody get a feel for you as a person. And, you know, that's how you're going to know that somebody can genuinely like you. If you walk around with like, shit, I don't trust people because, you know, people ain't genuine. No, you ain't been genuine. You just been out there. And when you're out there always flashing what you got, you never let nobody know you.
I can say one thing. You have always been super humble and ready to learn.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes the most, is because like if you do come in there thinking you're something already and uncoachable, that's the hardest person to work with.
Right.
You know, I got a call from a student the other day. You might know her, Cynthia Sample. She used to own a catering company with her sisters and stuff. Awesome lady. And like you just story just reminded me, because she's like, hey, we're doing our taxes, and I just wanted to call you and tell you thank you, because I didn't even realize till right now I'm a millionaire. I'm like, I knew that 2 years ago. Like, you didn't, from all the houses you own, you didn't think about that. And she's like, I didn't know what this meant, you know. But it's but she reminds me a lot of you, because y'all always are action takers.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter what, I mean, like I said, you came in and you're like, oh, I got 80 doors, but you didn't lead with that.
No.
Like I would have never known what she had from just talking to her in the crowd and everything.
Yeah.
You know, I would have thought she was just there to learn.
Right.
And then she busts out with 80 doors. You know
what I mean? You got more than me.
No, but you have to be prepared. And this is what I tell everybody. And Andrea will always tell you, I tell people, okay, we'll meet tomorrow. Cool. Yeah. You know, go ahead and prepare your questions for me, and I'll think up some questions for you, and we're going to rebuttal off of them questions. And the reason is because if I wouldn't have walked in with my little book, if I would have told AC, yeah, I got a couple of doors, you just totally, he doesn't know he wouldn't know where I was or what I needed. And then from AC, I met Mr. Kennedy. Which he was a game changer for me before he passed. God rest his soul. Yeah. But seriously, I got into a predicament with that subject too on those 51 units. And they called the note due, didn't know what to do. Dang. I did not know financing. If you do not know financing and what is a liability and what is a true asset, you are playing this game wrong, my friend. Orion, you are playing
My
this
friend.
game, my
She already
friend.
hung out with
You
so
are.
much
I'm
Orion.
with women
She
around
knows.
Orion too long.
She called me, hey, my friend. I'm like, okay, calm down.
It gets sticks. Positive energy sticks to you, and that's what you want. Only flies stick
Yes,
to
my
shit.
friend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes, my friend. But once it's all dried up, the little flies are even gone. But you got to think about
Even
it.
the flies are
Yeah,
gone.
even the flies are gone.
Right? That's funny.
It's true. So you have to have that I don't know, that personality where people just don't just bounce off of you. They want to know. They want to react with you. And sometimes you gotta let people talk. Okay, let me talk.
Yeah. I'm just kidding.
And I like what you said about learning, like, so the different coaches get to different, but even if it's one thing, like we're doing a lot of, and then being able to put it all together, like wholesaling,
Yeah.
buying and holding.
Mhm.
So, this BRRRR thing that everybody talks about,
Yeah.
like the BRRRR method.
Mhm, mhm.
It's not
know.
burn no more, it's kiss.
Now it's a kiss.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, with Boris, he
But-
does the kiss.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
so I love Boris.
Yeah, yeah.
So we've got some multifamily buildings, and everybody thinks everything is, once you make it to a certain level, you're cherry, you're golden, everything's good.
Right. No.
Man, there's issues. We have
All the
issues in our
time.
business all the time because we're constantly growing. If we stayed
Yeah.
in one spot, so we got a lot of multifamily doors. We've probably got like 45 multifamily
Mhm,
doors,
mhm.
and then some houses that me and my wife have, stuff like that. But it's like we have $45,000 in mortgages a month,
Right.
and some of those are flips, and some of those are apartment flips. So we're
Mhm.
constantly putting money out, and sometimes it gets tight because you're over on, like, we went
Yeah.
over like 60,000 on one rehab budget. Like over like
Damn.
85,000 on another one on
Mhm.
multifamily stuff, big
Oh,
ones.
I see.
And it can
So,
happen quick.
But it adds up.
Yeah.
So like we like wholesaling, we still wholesale. And people are like,
You
well, why are
have
you
to,
still
'cause
wholesaling? Why
That's
you
your
do-
engine.
That's
Mhm.
cash.
Yeah.
Man, I would never
That's-
stop wholesaling.
Yeah.
It's like, and the thing is, it's like a machine.
Mhm,
It's you're
mhm.
constantly getting. I mean, I'm like, oh, we can do this with this deal. Like that deal I told you with Mutiny. I mean, we're
Mhm.
walking away with a free lot.
It was
you
a
know?
whorehouse.
Oh my god, yeah.
We've had a few. We bought a bar that was a whorehouse. Actually, right now, we bought it from Boris.
Oh, shit.
It was we didn't know that until we went in there, and then the contractors we all took in there were like, bring these contractors looking at all this stuff, and like they always have the old guy that runs their crews,
Uh-huh.
and two contracting crews behind. The old man was like, "Oh, I know this place," and they were like,
I remember
upstairs,
this.
the ladies. And I'm like, what? They're like, the ladies were
Yeah,
upstairs.
oh my
And I'm like,
God.
wow.
It's funny because I bought my house over in Clear Lake Shore, and it's funny because the guy that I bought it from blessed me with everything, gave us the opportunity of owner finance. I could never have had a house in there, but he did an owner finance. Now that I'm in a good position, of course, you can come out with the refi. But the thing is everybody that passed by that house, they call it the tree house. And they're like, yeah, that's a boom boom room up there. Shit. Because he was like the available bachelor of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So,
Oh.
yeah, so we
He
got
had
the
the
tree
parties.
house. Yeah. Everybody says that was like the party house. So yeah, so y'all have those boom boom room stories
Yeah.
too.
That's
Right.
funny.
Oh, it's funny what you see if you're in real estate long enough.
Oh God, yeah. You
Oh,
see
for
some
sure.
stuff.
Yeah.
Or when you take the wallpaper down, you see all the little, the writings on the wall. There are writings on the walls. Like, oh my God. Yeah, this one lady was like drawing little people. She didn't have kids, so she drew kids in the room.
Oh,
And then she put wallpaper over it, I guess, assuming she'd have, I don't know what the hell she thought, but my son bought that house and it had little people drawn on the walls. And like,
That's
oh my
crazy.
God, like this weird.
sometimes stuff gets a little scary.
No,
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
I remember one time it was in Pasadena, went to a triplex.
Uh-huh.
So we were in there to go take pictures. So we went to the first two, and then the third one, we were like knocking and waiting. There was a person there waiting. So it was
Girl.
the person waiting going up the stairs, and then me, and then the person taking the pictures. So we're waiting, and the guy comes out, and he's like, "Oh shit, there's a line!" Like, so he thought we were like customers
Yeah.
waiting because the person in front of us was waiting to get some drugs. We're like, what the heck is going on? It was so bad.
Yeah.
There was people on the floor laid out. It was
Mm.
smell like we couldn't even take pictures. We're all like this taking pictures.
Yeah.
But it was sad because it was like, man, these people are all like just on the floor laid out like this. Some people are
Yeah.
like just smoking. I'm just like, we can come back another day. Like
It's like this
I
every day.
mean, I know, like
Yes.
don't worry. But it's crazy what you
Mhm,
see because you're
mhm.
like, what the heck?
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy is how many relationships you build with some people that you buy these houses from.
Oh
And then
yeah,
also
all
the
the
people
time.
you learn from.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, things were so different, like I have people that are still thinking houses are in the 20 and 30,000s.
That's
Oh.
you.
Yeah, that is me. I got one this year.
And she's like, I have people that are
Yeah.
thinking dumb people.
Yeah, like, oh well. What do you want? And they tell me what they want. I'm not gonna argue with you, bro. But like, okay.
You know, back in my day, we used to get it for 20,000.
No, the
you know?
cheapest
Yeah.
house I bought was from AC. It was 12,000 on Peach Street from
Nice.
Steve.
How much did you get it
Vigil.
for?
Oh, I don't
Like
even
2,000?
remember.
No, they got it for like 82 because Imelda did the paperwork.
Oh,
I think it was
Imelda.
like 8. I think y'all got it for 8, and I got it for like 12 from you guys. And I still have that house. I still have, and then I
That's
have
funny.
another house because I used to just buy. I was just buying like whatever, sight unseen. Andrea, that's when I stopped. Is when Andrea sold me a
Of course,
house.
it had to be me, right?
We walked up to the house. I said, "Oh man, this shit ain't bad. It's got a squatter. I'm good. I'm good." We went to the back. There was no house.
It's all
Nothing.
open.
I'll
It
be
was
like,
only
whoops.
it was like a theater setup. Only the front wall was
That
there
was probably
and
the
all that.
game room.
It was the game room. Like, it was the outdoor
It
game
was
room.
the outdoor
game
You heard of
room.
outdoor kitchens? It's the
Yeah.
outdoor game room.
Yeah. It was crazy, but we ended up fixing that house really nice.
It
and
came
we
out really
sold
nice.
it well. Yeah, but that's when I was able to do some.
What about the one
cool
that had a
stuff.
tampon machine right in front when you walked
That
in?
was the one on
Oh.
Creston.
Yes,
that
that
was
was
on
Creston.
Creston. I bought one from Creston from him, one from you. Shoot, just a bunch. Maryland. I bought a bunch of stuff, but I
All in
didn't
the
know.
hood. We always gave you the hood ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was funny. But back then, I mean, I could probably roll 3, 4, 5 houses out of $100,000. Now you can't. It's a whole nother market. And then my mindset was wrong. I used to think cash was king until I learned leverage. Leverage
yeah.
was very important because now, as a landlord, I learned what taxes are. You're never going to see your tax money again, and this is people. They'll buy a lot, write the numbers down. They'll buy a lot for $15,000. Their taxes are $1,500. They held on to this property for 10 years. That's another $15,000. 10 years down the line, they're happy as hell. Shit, I'm selling this house $30,000. What the fuck did you make?
Mhm.
Nothing. You just had your money, $15,000, sitting there for how many years?
Because you can't depreciate the
No.
land.
And that's
You
one of
can't.
the things that Boris teaches in his class.
Yeah.
And that's why I got rid of mutiny.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what the
We're
heck
gonna
am I
hold
doing?
on.
He was right. And he really
Mhm.
opened my eyes a lot on what I was
Yeah.
doing. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes so sense. He goes, sometimes we think we're cash flowing,
You're
and when you
not.
start making the numbers, you're like,
Mhm.
I'm freaking negative.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you hold on to your money sitting there. It's just sitting there. You ain't cash flowing. Money's just sitting there.
Right.
And then you break even when you sell. So you're
Right.
at all that money sitting there for that long time.
Mhm.
You're probably gonna lose money.
Mhm.
So I was like, you know what? You're totally right. And then I
Right.
ended up getting a free lot by
Right.
just changing the structure
Yeah.
because I was gonna Airbnb it. And I'm
Mhm.
like, I started thinking, doing the numbers. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? That ain't gonna
Yeah,
work.
and some people say there is no such thing as cash flow. In some instances, as a landlord, there's really not, because you can't calculate what you're going to spend next month because you don't know if they're really going to pay you. The only way that I say I cash flow is when I buy a property and then I, put a tenant in it, and this is where the BRRRR kind of comes in.
Mhm.
But I BRRRR wrap refinance.
Yeah, I like that. I like
Yeah.
that strategy.
Yeah,
It's
and
a
the
good
reason
one.
where I'm saying is, I buy a house for 100. I put 150. I put 50 in it, so I'm in 150. I fix it all up. Now the appraisal is 249. It happens. So when I cash out at a certain percentage, I'm going to walk out with 175. So now I gain 25 minus cost and whatever. But I still have the property. But what I do is I find an owner finance person,
Mhm.
get
Sell it for
25,
more.
30, 40 grand,
Yeah.
and I have a note on it for 6%, and I give it to them for 10 to 12.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's cash flow because
That's
I'm
cash
not
flow.
paying taxes. I'm not paying repairs. I'm not paying insurance.
You're the
and
bank.
I'm the
You're
bank.
passive. You're
I'm
truly passive.
bankable. Yeah, I'm
That's
truly
You're truly
passive.
passive,
That's a
'cause
Yeah.
that's a better word.
So that's what people think is that rentals are passive,
No.
and they're not, because
Mhm.
Used to
and
pay
and
for
Boris
that.
says this
Yeah.
a lot. He's like, I don't care about cash flow.
Mhm.
He talks about appreciation
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
and and
The forced
cash.
appreciation.
The forced appreciation.
Right.
I love his
May the
church
force
of
is with you.
Yes.
his church of forced appreciation, and
May the force be with you.
but he like when you're able
I'm gonna
to
make him a shirt like
right,
that.
right? May the forced appreciation be with you. So when you build the appreciation, then cash out, that's where you truly make money. Or like you're saying, build a note, because then you're the
Yes.
bank.
Mhm.
But people think that cash flow is just passive, but
Mhm.
man, one water heater goes out, 2 months of like, it depends on
Yeah.
the price.
It
If you got an
starts to add
expensive house,
up.
Right.
say you got a house that's renting for $2,500 a month,
Mhm.
and I don't like ones that go that high, but I like 1,500 below, stuff like
Right.
that for rentals.
Mhm.
But if you get one that's 2,500, and how much are you making profit per month? So how long is it going to take you to make up 2 months of missed rent when
Right.
somebody moves
Yeah.
out?
Mhm.
You know, or even in
Yeah.
And
apartments. You know?
Christina's the one who actually broke that down to
Mhm.
me and showed me, and I'm like, oh shit, that's
Yeah.
right. And
Yeah.
everyone's teaching you that, oh, cash flow, you got to get rentals and all of that. And then when she started breaking down the numbers and the way she did it, I'm like, that makes a lot more sense. But
Right.
people don't think about it because, like she
Rentals-
said,
Yeah.
Rentals, I think, are more for the depreciation and the
Mhm.
tax
right?
benefits
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
than anything else.
Right.
Because, like, I mean, just like, you know, buying the right car
Mhm.
is if you like a 6,000 pound vehicle and you
Mhm.
could deduct that off your taxes,
Yep.
or the depreciation on your property, knowing how to use
Right.
the tax benefits of
Right.
real estate and the real estate business
Right.
is what
Right.
really helps with rentals. And then
Yeah.
you're the bank with your
Mhm.
notes,
Mhm.
and then you're the forced appreciation with your bigger properties that you can pull cash
Right.
out on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the key.
Yeah.
That
I
is the
remember
key.
one time.
There
when
you
I
go. You
went-
had the key to it.
You got the key to it. I remember one time, and people are going to look at you crazy when you have this big vision. You draw that vision
Mhm.
because you cannot manifest something you can't see yourself.
Mhm.
And if other people don't see it, they're not meant to see it. So you have to understand that you have to keep your eyes open on your prize.
Mhm.
And I remember years ago when I was like, you know what, I need this leverage. I went for a loan. A lender literally laughed in my face. I thought you had a lot of properties and money.
Oh,
I never
wow.
said I had a lot of properties and money. And then that's when Kennedy came to me. He's like, Christina, you have asset. You
Mhm.
are bank. You are a bank, and you don't even know it. And so my word
You're like,
is,
excuse me?
yeah, excuse me, ¿Qué? No, seriously. And then so
That's when Michelle came out.
I was talking about, she was
You're no longer
scared.
talking to Christina. This is Michelle.
Gotta go back into that realm. But the thing is that if he wouldn't have told me, and then I talked to my husband about it, we all sat down and we're like, well, shit, we're gonna try this. We were so unsure. How do we? It's like pawning. It's like taking your favorite necklace and pawning it, and not sure if you're gonna have the money to take it out.
Mhm.
That's like a house. So we're like, okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. But how do you not do it on something that's bringing you money back?
Yes.
Okay, now if I was going to go buy a new house, no renter and any repairs, I'm already in debt. But if
Yep.
I already had my apartment complex and it's bringing in money to cover all the payments on all 10, we pawned 10 properties. That's what a cash out refi is. It's a pawn.
Mhm.
It's not. It's a
That's what-
pawn.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah,
That's
it's
true.
a pawn. So I went and I took those houses, and think about it. Those houses, I probably paid $15,000, $10,000. One of yours went in there, $12,000, and all that. And each house at $100,000, I was already at $1 million at 10,
Mhm.
and didn't even realize that. And all I owed was 800.
And then you use it to buy more assets instead of liabilities.
Yes,
Right.
yes. And
Like
then,
if you go buy a Rolex watch for 20,000 just to show off to
No,
everybody, it's like
no.
there's your money, it's gone.
Yeah.
Or another car or something,
Yeah.
unless it's tax deductible and all that
No.
kind of stuff. But you buy more assets
buy
that
more
bring you more cash, and then the assets should pay for the liability of the note.
there you go. That is the word, because I'm very layman. I got layman's terms. Bitch, just pay your bill. Bitch, just pay your bill.
Okay, that's all I'm trying. You're trying to breathe the bigger words. If you
No,
do an instructive bill,
No,
just pay the damn bill.
Just pay the bill.
No, but it's true though. But if you really don't overthink things, I walk in not really thinking things, which sometimes can be a wreck, but it hasn't wrecked me yet. It really hasn't wrecked me yet. I mean, I do so many things that I tell my husband, okay, we did this. We did what? Like, we did this, and, I have to hear it, but it's like,
I have to hear it.
yeah, for me, it's better to do it than ask. Because if I ask, it's not going to happen. So if I do it, then we're okay.
Well,
That's
honey,
why I am where
She's
I
like,
am today.
I asked for forgiveness rather than permission.
Forgiveness is better than permission.
Like,
You
I
don't
bought
wanna
us a
get rid of me
building.
yet.
You can't talk to my wife.
Sassy,
That's
I'm
it. We're
calling
cutting you off.
A lot of husbands out there like, well, hang on, I don't
No,
know.
I don't know
I know,
about
right? Like,
Christina.
wait a
I don't know about Christina.
No wonder nobody goes to the events.
All the men are like,
They're
honey,
like,
can
no,
they
we can't go
cancel
to
this?
them,
I'll bring her on those
Yeah,
two.
not those two men haters. No. But but it's not.
I know
even
because
like
we're always
that.
giving tips like, why are you listening to him?
Yeah, you can't listen to him.
man.
Yeah, I know. And then I was
Go
supposed to,
out, girl, go out.
yeah, I was supposed to go on the
out.
cruise, and I had to call Boris. I was like, Boris, I can't go. He's like, what? I said, my husband won't let me go. I'm like,
My husband won't let me
I
go.
can't go.
Yeah, you see, same thing with us.
Yeah, I still gotta listen and pay attention every now and then. It's okay. It's okay to be the little submissive
That's
wife.
the stuff. How you gonna do us like that, Christina? After all the smack talk we do, and then you're not gonna go.
Okay, after 5, I turn back into a family pumpkin. Okay.
From 10 to 4, we do smack talk.
Oh man, we smack it out. Yeah, but after 5, I'm back into a pumpkin. It's like I put on the big old lata. You know, I'm walking around.
She's like, yes,
dress.
your highness.
There was a comedian that used to say he was like I forgot who it was, but he was talking about like when the police come around, he's like, yeah, I talk a lot of smack. Oh no, the boss.
no.
He's like, I talk a lot of smack. But when he leave, when he come around, I stop talking. But as soon as he leaves, I'll be talking again.
That's Friday.
Is that Friday? Okay.
Oh,
I know the movies.
Okay.
He's like, no, he goes, when he come around, he goes, I'll be talking. But when he leave, I'll be talking again.
Yeah.
I know my movies.
Right?
Especially Friday.
Especially Friday.
Man, but leverage
That's
is a lot.
funny.
And then also how you structure your business. I think the business in a box, if they teach you how to structure in your LLCs, because they don't lend to DBAs, and then also your bank accounts, how to also take some of your profits and put them in annuities, I think is really good, because they have like Quest IRA, different type of IRAs. You can do self-direct, you know, and you can structure those things correctly and then be a lender, you know, because some people are like, I don't want to flip houses. We'll go make 12% on being a lender. You know,
Yes,
you need
yes.
lenders. How important
And
are
call
lenders?
me.
Oh, very
Maybe
important.
lenders.
Like, so I have students that come in the program and like, they're like, they learn so I believe wholesaling is the foundation.
Right.
That's the foundation of your business. It should always be. And then you get into flipping,
I
then
agree.
buy and hold, everything like that. But
Yes.
some are like, they just don't want to deal with the sticks and bricks of real estate.
Yeah.
They're like, man, I just don't want to deal with that. I don't want to call people. I don't want to do this. And it's like, well, then your thing is probably being a lender.
Right.
And
Mhm.
and you can
Hey,
lend
right,
your
you're
money
pretty
and
much
make money.
screwed then.
Yeah, I mean, because
Right.
you're gonna be lending money and making a return, and you can structure it very well.
Yeah.
But the person you're gonna see them making the big chunks, and you're gonna be like, oh man, I'm
Yeah.
not doing that. But then again, some people feel safe that way.
Yeah.
The engineers, the CPAs,
mhm.
those kind of people I find
The
are ones-
lames. And
It's-
I'm
engineers
kidding.
are real funny because I have some engineers that have come in the program and they blow up and do very well in the whole business, and some are over analytical, like
Oh,
super
yes.
analytical, and then
Yeah.
they're just better off being lenders.
Mhm.
Hey, they're still trying to figure out, like, is it worth it? Is it not?
Yeah, paralysis by overanalysis.
There you go.
Exactly.
And,
Right
and it's been
there.
years, years of paralysis by overanalysis.
Yeah, but I think if you learn how to seek the private money, build your credit, and also a lot of people say you don't need credit, but when you're going in and you want to start doing your
Credit
first
is an
project,
asset.
it's an asset, and you know
need credit.
you need credit, especially when you're going to need a gap lender, gap funds, meaning, you know, a little bit to finish off your project, because you can under budget your,
Mhm.
and it's not coming from the lender. If you said my scope of work is 45,000, 45,000 is all you get, and you're not even getting the 45,000 because they're doing their draws.
Yep.
So
Right.
you're like at 42, 43.
Mhm.
Okay, so then now you need 50. You're gonna have to go ask Uncle Tom or somebody if I can lend you that extra money.
Yes.
Because you still
You
got
go
bills.
outside Martin's Hardware and
Or
get
wholesale.
tacos.
Yeah,
Go
or
sell some-
wholesale. Or wholesale.
Or wholesaling.
Yeah.
That's where wholesaling comes in very handy for us.
Yes, because a lot of people do get stuck. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do with a lot of property.
Because we got into, we didn't know a lot about multifamily, so we actually accidentally bought 5 apartment buildings like real fast.
Mhm.
And that's where, you know, now when we buy right. We know what the costs are more, because
Right.
like the closing costs are more, the
Right.
the inspections are more, the appraisals are more, the
Holding.
you know, everything, you know what I mean?
Holding
Holding costs is more,
Mhm.
the repairs, like, because now you're dealing with, we have 2 11-unit buildings, like those things are like, everything is commercial grade,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
everything is the cost of stuff is a
It's
lot higher.
different.
Right.
Mhm.
So kind of jumping in, like we were kind of like ready, shoot, aim. You know what
Yeah.
I mean, at
Mhm.
first.
Mhm.
And we did that, and that kind of, you know, came around to bite us in the butt.
Yeah.
But wholesaling is what has kept us alive
Yeah.
in that, because we keep that engine going all the
right.
time.
And that's exactly what it is. It's like a little money making machine,
Yeah,
it's just
it is.
pumping deals, and you could either flip from there, hold, whatever, get creative. And that's why I like it, because
money machine.
it's like a
Yeah.
marketing machine, I would call it, rather than, because you could choose to wholesale if you want, right? But that's where the beauty comes in. You get to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You convert that into money with wholesaling, like quick
Right.
cash.
It is quick cash, guys. It is quick cash. It's crazy that while we're sitting here, I bet you one of us have something closing right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
we're working on a
sitting
couple
right
right now.
here. And this is very virtual. If you structure it the right way, it's very virtual, and you build relationships with the right people. Like me with my title company. I mean, I can be here and it's being handled over there. And then my buyers, hey, you know what? You have to do this, go over there. It's not a contact sport anymore. It's really not a contact sport anymore. I mean, you really don't see everybody like you used to. We're not sitting across tables to make deals work anymore. It's pretty much all on our phones. Our phones are our computers. They are our office.
Literally.
Yeah, they're more
I
sophisticated.
turn my phone into a computer.
Yeah.
It is. Like
Yeah.
there's more technology in your phone than was in the first ship that went to the moon. And
Yeah.
and you said, I love what you just said about it's people say I'm a wholesaler, right? People are like, man, I don't know the last time I've made a call for a deal in my business, because I have a team. So I believe I own a wholesale business. But what I'm known as a wholesaler because I believe I was really good at marketing.
Right.
Yes.
Really good at marketing.
And this
like
when the
turning
Jedi
leads
comes out.
That's like, and that's
marketing.
I just got my license plate, REI Jedi.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah.
I bought the website too. Like, so I was like, man, I gotta do something with this.
Y'all need to look it up. REI Jedi. It's gonna come out.
Funny.
It's gonna come out soon, right? But I think that's what it is I'm very good marketer.
Right.
I love marketing. Like right now, like you're saying, something's going on. I was just checking the numbers before I left to come here, and we have 1,421 leads that came in the past like 3 weeks.
Wow.
Nice.
That's really
Off of
good.
our market, because we do a lot of text messaging, cold calling, that kind of stuff.
And that's
you have
pretty
a
much
system. You have a system for that, right?
Well, so I'm a systems guy too, so I believe in building out the system. Now my ADD kicks in, and I'm not the one that I want running the systems.
Right.
You don't want me doing anything important.
You're constantly changing it.
I'm constantly working on stuff, so I build it.
My husband does that
and put it there.
He's like, I'm like, ooh, you know what? He's like, no, I don't even want to know, because he's like, we just changed it, like, and then when you're doing the operations, it's it takes a lot of like, and I'm just like, oh, we should do this. Oh, we should do that. And it's like, I got to put them together.
Yes. And then making everything flow seamlessly.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we have marketing systems and processes that I've been working on for years.
Yes.
And that's what, and I got teaching really helps, because teaching people is like, it all used to be in here. And then I understand that some people take that very well when you talk to them, and then I'd have to sit down 100 times a day and meet with people and say the same thing. So I started building out the systems to give them the
that's
flow
how
charts.
I work. Like I'm here.
Mhm.
I'm always here. And that's the problem I have. And, my husband tells me, he's like, you're so good. Everything's all in your head, but then you got to deliver what's in your head.
Yeah. How do you share that?
And then I'm like,
Chalkboard.
I don't know.
I carry around a board.
And then when I deliver it,
you
they're
don't
like,
have no idea.
what? They're all confused. I'm like, wait, did that come out
I've
right?
turned
So-
everything into flow charts,
Yeah.
checklists, and because I'm real big on traction, the book Traction.
Say,
The
I
flow
told
charts,
you.
checklists, and then like our marketing system leads into our acquisition system, our acquisition processes. And then we have our acquisition guys following everything all the way into the handoff, where we hand it off to the sales and disposition team, and sales and dispositions handles it all the way through. But it's all flow charts and checklists. And
Because even when it goes like from acquisition, it goes to transactions, and then from transactions it goes to dispo. So we had it like set up. It takes.
So I saw your product, because you did a demonstration on it, and it was on I think on Facebook. It was shared.
on our CRM. Yeah.
And I really like the way that worked. I was like, that's really good. It's just like touch and go.
Yeah, we also, all those systems and processes I'm talking about are based on the CRM that we use.
Okay.
And we worked with another CRM company to develop it and kind of tweak it
Who
the
do
way
you
we
guys
like it.
use for that?
It's a prosperity dashboard.
It's
You have your own.
Yeah, we worked with another company to build it out.
Was it just a developer or just a company?
No, it was a company called RealFlow that tweaked and worked on the one that, because they've been around a while.
I know,
but it didn't
RealFlow.
quite fit what I wanted, and they tweaked some stuff for me to make it what I wanted and
We
how to work
paid-
with
We
our
paid
team.
a developer to build
That's
ours
crazy
out.
expensive.
And
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
paid
she-
5,000.
yeah.
Oh, is it based like on Podio or something like that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Well,
those-
it's very like everything's automated, right?
Yes.
So what happens here? They press a button, it does this and then that.
Mhm.
So we just pay pretty much for that. And
Yeah,
just put all the systems together, right? All
Mhm.
the marketing channels are going into the
Mhm.
Podio, all of that.
I had Podio. The problem with
I
Podio
don't
for
like
me
Podio no
was
more.
that it kept breaking. Like there's
Mm.
like this link isn't working, then you got to get a
Yes.
developer
Okay,
to come
so
in
it's
and
not
fix
just
this.
my Podio. Dang.
No.
I thought it was me always
The
breaking them.
bigger team you have too, the harder, the more problems you're gonna
Everybody
have. with it.
changes everything, does their
Yeah.
own thing.
Yeah, so like that's why I used, man, I remember I used to use Freedom Soft when that first came out in 2010,
God, yeah, that
and I
was
loved
cool.
it. I loved it. So what we have is, to me, it's like Freedom Soft, but on another level
Yeah.
because we can get
I'll
our
have to
data
check
on
yours,
there.
and I'll show you mine. Hey, I'll show you mine.
Yeah, you show me
Yeah.
yours. I'll show you mine.
Yeah, so that way I can see and you can see.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
see and you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I love, because whenever you do the masterminds, that's what you do. You're like, oh, let me see what you got. Oh, let me see. It's kind of like you guys share ideas.
Do
and
you
like,
have masterminds?
Yes,
Okay.
Mhm.
once a month we do a mastermind, and
Never
I'm supposed to do
gone
them once a quarter,
Mhm.
but I've been doing them once a month because I want to get more touches with my students
Mhm.
and help them.
Okay.
Because I realize what I think about a lot of these coaching companies and mentorship groups is there's not enough touches.
Yeah.
So like I try to do every other Tuesday, or I do every other Tuesday, I do a training, and then once a month, like a mastermind meeting.
Mm,
And then
okay.
I'm pretty accessible. I got my team that
Mhm.
they will take, emails and calls, and then they schedule it with me or one of my coaches.
Right.
But we're fixing to go nationwide now. So
Wow.
we've been in Houston for so long, but now
know.
we're going nationwide.
Yeah.
Because I accidentally picked up people nation. I got like a student in Canada, like one in like Seattle, like
Yeah.
like they just come from
I mean,
different
yeah.
places.
I had my
Well, because
sister in
everything is
Canada.
already virtually. Like, you don't have to be face to face. You can do as much
Mhm.
virtual than you do, engage.
Well, especially
Yeah.
with like Houston, we're such a hot market.
Oh God.
So what I
Yeah.
realized is like it's taking way more marketing dollars to get a return on investment
Right.
in
Mhm.
Houston when we got like deals right now in Port Arthur and Beaumont.
Oh yeah.
Is that Beaumont? Yeah, that's Beaumont. I get Baytown and Beaumont mixed up all the time.
I do too.
But Port Arthur and Beaumont, we're starting to market like in Asheboro, North Carolina. We're looking at South Carolina,
I'm in
Tennessee,
Salem. I'm
Oklahoma.
doing Salem,
Oh, really?
North Carolina. I'm closing on one on the 11th. Next month. No, this month 11th. Shit. In
Because their
North
markets
Carolina.
are still good.
Yeah.
They are.
Oh, but you
And-
guys really need to know that when you go to North Carolina, it's not a title commitment state. It's a due diligence state. And that's where you have to learn those pivoting points, because you have to do your own due diligence and make sure that they deal with attorneys. And here
Yeah.
we'll freak the hell out. Like, what?
Like what? You didn't get to tell me everything?
Yeah, I'm not gonna get insured on this. Like, you're just gonna sell it to me like that. That happened to me here, and it was a bad thing. But going over there I was freaking out. Like, what? Like, no. Like, we need a title company. They're like,
Oh yeah, I
That
love
doesn't
title
work.
companies.
yeah,
I did a deal in Dallas one time off the internet. Like the lead came in on my website, and then I sold it on my buyer's list. And it turned out like 6 weeks after the closing, I got a call, and I was like, "Hello," and they're like, "This is FBI agent so and so," and I was
Damn.
like,
Oh, God, yeah.
"You're joking," blah blah, and
Yeah.
I kind of just blew them on. They're like, "Okay, call back to the Fort Worth FBI and ask for agent so and so." So I did, and it was her, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh man, you're real." And it turned out this guy sold me. The seller sold me a house, and he had sold that house 121 times in 1 year.
Man.
Mm,
And the FBI was after him, and they were like, they just want to make sure I wasn't involved in it.
right.
They were like, "How did you get this house?
Mhm.
How'd you find your seller? How'd you find your buyer?" And I was like, "Look, I'm just a wholesaler.
All right.
I'm in the
Yeah.
middle here." And they're like, "Oh, so
Yeah.
you're a middleman?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yes,
and that's
I
how
am.
Yes, I am.
I'm very proud to be one too.
We're called wholesalers, in case you haven't known.
Right.
I got a course you can take. but
You like to share it.
Yeah, there you go.
but yeah, it was. That's why. And if I wouldn't have made, the seller didn't want the guy who was the fraud.
Mhm.
Didn't want to use a title company. He wanted to use an attorney.
Mhm.
It's still in Texas. It was in Dallas. So I was like, "No, we use a title company. Find a
Mhm.
title company." And he found one. And I don't know how he got it through,
Yeah.
but they ended up having to pay my buyer back his money because he had title insurance.
Right.
But if he hadn't, he would have been out. It was like $178,000 that he bought it for. So he would have been out $178,000.
Yeah.
Dang.
And something else like on title that I learned through Acclaim is that once the construction is finished, you can go back and insure that construction. A lot of people didn't know that. And you want that because there's a claim open right now.
Oh, like a rehab. Like
you want to you want to go back.
Because now your cost of replacement
is up. And so now that it's there, you can ensure that, and you want to do that in case a claim comes up. Don't go do it when a claim comes up. You do it before that, because you never know when someone else can come, out the woodworks. And sometimes these people, they wait and they watch you fix it and they think, oh, yeah, now I'm going to go claim that house. It's all brand new. Well, it doesn't work that way either. There's other type of things that can go on in that claim, and they can actually go back to the buyer. But you really, to the seller, the initial seller, they have to separate that money. But you really need to sit with a title company that is willing to sit with you and teach you some of these things that are out there, options. It's not just, oh, I'm insured, and then you bought it for 50 and you put 100 in it and you can't get that 100 out and you're pissed off, but you didn't educate yourself properly about title. That's why Christina's my best friend. We went to school together. Isn't that weird? The odds that I went to school with my best friend, and
her name was Christina too.
I know,
right? That's when you know your besties.
Her name's Christina, and then she has her title company, and then I'm always flipping, or we're doing whatever in the hell my poor friend has to help.
Oh, she's dealt with some stuff.
Yeah, especially with me. Like, oh my God. But yeah, you have to keep good relationships with people, even with appraisers, even with inspections.
I don't think people understand how much of a relationship business this business is.
Yeah, it's a people business.
You got to have everybody. You got to build rapport and relationships with your sellers. Whether it's short term or long term, right? You got to have relationships with your buyers. You got to have relationships with your title company, your lenders, like everybody involved with you is. And the more you have relationships and you're a relationship person, the further you will go.
Hey, and that's why we are far, because we like to build relationships. We talk a lot.
This is a perfect example.
We talk a lot, and it's funny because they're like, we'll bring people on the podcast, and it's just her and I talking, and I'm like, well, damn, I can even talk.
What about that? Okay, now let me tell you about this.
Let me tell you about me. Enough about him.
No, but I will tell you something that speaks a lot for him is if you know what I've been doing, what he's taught me, bounced on Andrea bounced on somebody else. It comes a long way. It's generational. It's legacy. He's building legacies, because what he's taught me, I've taught my kids. Daisy, come on. I think when she went with you, we were barely putting her in a medical class, so she was going one way.
Screw medical.
We went this way, and
there's
so
no
now,
money in medical.
And so now my kids, they're already up in the digit world, and they've got their own properties, and they're not even 20. They're not even 30. I don't want to even say that.
And they're single. I'm just kidding.
No, one is single. 2 are married.
And I'll put his profile up on my page.
I'm taking resumes
because she's got to approve her.
I'm a good mother-in-law, I promise.
And that legacy is literally, I say this all the time, is legacy. So when I teach somebody or show something, like my goal is I want to have an impact on this world, like a meteor leaving a crater, right? But the ripple effects are the legacy when somebody shows their kids. So that means more to me than anything else. Like Cynthia, the woman I was telling you about, she calls me and she's like, and her son was just getting out of law school when she joined the mastermind. And we sat at a conference table, and me and her husband were talking here. He sat right there and he was like, this is a fraud. This is illegal. I'm pretty sure this is illegal what he's telling you to do. And then they made $495,000 their first year wholesaling.
Wow.
And now he wholesales and has rentals. She bought a lot of her rentals with her wholesaling cash.
Right.
Yeah.
Now he's doing the same thing, and he's not in law school and nothing. Like he's full-time real estate.
Breaking the law.
Yeah.
Breaking the law.
We out here breaking the law.
That's how that is legacy to me, because her family eats off of real estate that I helped them with.
Right.
His family eats off of real estate. His kids are going to be impacted.
Right.
If somebody like four generations down the road goes back and say, man, this weird dude AC helped my family. He believed in aliens, all kinds of stuff. Like he had an alien in his office. But he helped my family.
We're not sure what he's smoking on, but that he sees aliens and stuff.
He talks to aliens and has crystals. Like, I don't know, in his office. But I believe in Jesus, so that's all that counts. Just to make that clear. Yeah. But
just to clarify, I don't want to tax it, right?
Right. I'm not trying to cause any stirs. I know. But that's that is legacy to me. That means more to me than anything else, because like having an impact, creating a difference in the world is really why I got into it. Because you were there in the beginning. Our motto, and still is to care and contribute to the success of others.
Right.
That's why, because I was like 35 when I was getting into teaching. Now I'm about to be 46.
Oh, so it's been a while.
Oh yeah, it was 2012 when we started Prosperity. Yeah. And I was like, man, I've made money in real estate, but I guess because of my past and everything, I was like, what can I contribute to other people? It gives you a
fulfillment.
Yes, I didn't feel fulfilled. Yes.
So when you close a deal, you get excited, but that fulfillment is not there, rather than seeing like, hey, you changed my life. Thank you so much because of what you taught me. I'm at this place now. You're like, wow, I did something good. And you could close a big deal and you're excited at that moment, but it doesn't give you that fulfillment.
I was just about to say, so we closed a deal for $40,000 one day, and we had a student that closed one for 10. I was more excited about the 10 for the student because his annual salary was $30,000 a year. Wow. And he worked in a warehouse like off of Irvington, like working hard all day, sweating, busting his butt working.
Right.
And he made a third of his annual income.
Yeah.
And then he went on, like his dream, he wanted to be a firefighter. That was his dream job. He made enough money to buy rental properties and wholesaling, to make money to buy rental properties, that he quit that job. The rentals help supplement his lifestyle, and he's a firefighter now.
Wow. And
firefighters do not make what they're worth.
No, they don't. I'm telling you, after seeing that fire at my store, it was shocking to see it's just vivid in my mind.
Now, is it true that like all these firefighters, they're like,
they're fucking buff?
They're buff.
They're buff.
Yeah, I was just.
I knew what was coming.
Okay, I was like,
they are.
I'm curious.
I totally thought that was going somewhere else.
Yeah,
but
it's like two little apples.
Is it true they walk around without shirts?
Yes, right. They're like all buff, right?
They wear their suspenders with no shirts. Is that true? I just wanted to know.
Right. Did you take pictures?
I took videos.
She's like, I go to visit them at the firehouse on the daily.
And
now she's there. Thank you so much for saving me.
Right?
They're like, ma'am, you were not on the fire.
I threw myself in there.
Right?
She goes to all the different firehouses. Like, we're not the ones that did that. She's like, I just want to check everybody out.
Right? Just to see. Show me your guns.
Yeah, right?
But I will tell you, the firefighters look way more better than the people in the arson department. When they came, I was like, that's got to be bigger. Like, no.
Wow.
Well, okie dokie.
Time to go now.
Yeah, time to go. Not interested.
Go back to the firehouse. That's so funny.
Yeah, all the girls were there watching. Like, okay.
Yeah, right. Hey, she's over thinking like, oh, they came to support me.
Hey, no, they're like, how long is this fire gonna last?
Are the fire people there already yet?
I got to the office and somebody had saw it on the news and told me, and then I saw your Facebook Live. I was like, man,
I didn't know. Someone texted me to ask me if you were okay. I'm like, what do you mean she's okay? I don't know. Is she okay?
I had I had just jumped in the car, and the first person that called me, besides the lady from across the street at the taco place,
she stole your business.
Yeah, right? Yeah,
and she has her taco stand right in front on top of her business.
Yeah, Brent Franklin called. I was like, aren't you on Dubai? He goes, yeah, but I heard about this. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna be okay. Like, I'm gonna be good. Like, I really wanted to just drive and not overthink. I did not. My husband was freaking out. I was like, no. I'm like that crazy wife, like, get out of your goddamn self.
Hey, she's over there slapping everybody. And they're like, stop it. Hey, her kids are like, Mom, I didn't even say anything.
She's like, snap out of it.
There's nothing wrong. We're not the ones overacting.
But one of the arson investigators did ask me, he's like, why are you so calm? And I was like, you have to understand, when you are in a peaceful mindset and you have found peace, nothing surprises me.
I just smoked a fat one.
That's why I'm calm. I'm still chilling.
It hasn't hit me yet.
It was the gummies. The gummies did it. There go to Jackie. I'm gonna get my little cannabis going.
that they're like, man, why are you so calm?
Right?
No, but they
Arson
really,
investigators are always looking for something. Though.
Oh,
We had a fire
God.
in the arson investigator. Like
Oh.
I felt like I did something wrong, and I know I didn't do nothing wrong. I was like, man, I
Yeah.
just woke up. It's 3 a.m. Like,
yeah. Oh no, but
What did you
but
do while you were
still.
sleeping?
yeah,
You know why they're
right.
really
What were
out
you doing
there?
in your dreams?
Yeah, no, but you know why they're really out there? They're really out there because of the insurance.
Right,
Oh,
of
yes.
course.
So when they
yes.
found out, I didn't have insurance. Now that was a scary thing, but I was like,
Mhm.
I don't have insurance. I never got anything to cover. I mean, the building was so damn old. They said that it was more of a hazard for them to cover it.
Apparently it was.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
I realized what they meant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now I know what they
Dang.
mean.
Yeah, but check this out. So, I mean, as soon as he heard that, he was like, "Oh, well, there's nothing to do here."
Yeah.
Because their job is to actually
Protect the insurance
protect the insurance company.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
I did not
Or
know
look
that.
for the fraud.
Or
Yeah.
look for the fraud, and that's not what it was. So I was like, "There you go."
There you go. No need to
Yeah.
be here.
Yeah.
You're done. Take a donut,
Yeah.
bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, take a donut, bye. Me and my donut.
Exactly.
Yeah, but after that, but they were really wondering, like, why are you so peaceful? When you find a place subconsciously, just with God and peace and mind and the universe and colors and creations and stones and this and that, you really find peace in things, and nothing moves you. Nothing moves you. I used to be a hysterical bitch. I mean, I was already, I was ready to go at you, like, bitch, I cut you. I'll go right at you. But now it's just like, yeah, all right. I was just like, move away from it. And it's crazy. I like, just once you just find peace, it was like, that's it. Like, you just don't care. Nothing moves you.
That's good. And that's a good place to be.
Yeah, you win, you lose. You gain, you grow. It's okay.
Yeah.
However
It's
you
all
see
right.
it. And you got to make a positive thing out of whatever's negative, or you're
Right.
everything in life right now can just hit you negatively, because everything is set to kind of bring you down. People are like, no, that's not true. But it is.
No,
because
but
everybody's waiting to see your fail.
Yes.
well, I feel like
Yes,
too,
I
but
feel
failure is like part of life, and not only that, it's your best friend, because that's how you learn more.
Yeah.
That's how you grow.
And then you
That's how
grow.
You only lose when you stop.
Right.
Yeah, right there.
And
yeah.
that I say this all the time in the office, because like I said, it's like everybody's like, oh man, you do all this wholesale, you got this, you do this, you do that. It's like, man, you still whatever level you're at, you're just gonna have bigger problems.
Bigger problem.
You know what I mean? Like
you gotta
like,
keep it up. You can't just be like, oh, I'm
yeah,
successful.
oh,
now.
I quit.
Well, you keep that. You gotta keep
Yeah.
that success. It just
Yeah.
doesn't reach a point.
So somebody's at a level right now, they're like, man, like I don't know how I'm gonna pay my $4,000 mortgage this month, or my $4,000 in hard money loans or whatever.
Mhm.
Like I'm like, man, we're trying to pay $45,000 this month in mortgages. And
Yeah.
shout out to Priority Investor Loans, RG. She's
There you
helped
go.
us a lot on a lot of different stuff. But
Good.
but it's whatever level you're at, you're gonna have that level of problem.
exactly.
And you can't stop.
no.
Right.
You just can't stop, because when you stop, you're dead in the water.
Well,
If
and
you
too,
keep going,
it
you grow.
requires a different you too, because
Yeah.
it's like now you're dealing with bigger problems. So you're like, shit, I don't even know how to deal with these. So you start dealing with them. So it requires more of you to
Mhm.
elevate yourself, you
Right.
know?
Mhm.
So, and I feel like people are like, I'm done. I don't want to do more, because they don't want to think more. They don't want to use their brain, or
Yeah.
they can't handle the problems.
Right.
The
You know what I
pressure.
what did help me a lot is when I stopped thinking out of the box and thinking I had all the answers or I could figure it out, and when I started following instruction. When
Being
I sta-
coachable.
being coachable.
And gummies.
And gummies. Gummies, like big one. Yeah, big gummies. Christina takes gummies for Christmas, okay? Special gummies.
Special gummies.
And
And we're going to pass them around
Yeah.
at Christmas.
Hey, I
And
left
not
the
tell anybody.
donuts. I left the donuts. I started with brownies. All right. Well,
She went from brownies to gummies.
I went from brownies to gummies, but there you go. So that's what Christina likes.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, no,
Hey, that's why we're always like,
Always in a good mood.
because I went and I bought some gummies. I know TMI, whatever, but I share. I'm transparent, whatever. My husband and I, we were in Tomball. We were doing something, and we went to meet a client. That's what happened. We were in Tomball. and
made a
he was
client
like-
take a gummy.
Yeah, no, check this out. So we were right there at eating at this little restaurant, and next door was a little smoke shop. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna see if they have that 2 old goat stuff, because all the ours burned up. And so it's like something to numb. It's like Bengay, but it don't stink, because I used to walk around smelling like Bengay. That was a new perfume. But it was, at 50, yeah. So that so I walked in there and I see the guy and I saw the gummies and I was like, you know what? Kia, my granddaughter was driving me nuts. I said, are those pretty good? And he was like, yeah. He goes, so you want the THC or you want this or you want that? I said, what's the strongest? And he was like,
she must have been really good.
Yeah, because you really don't think that, it works. I mean, I popped them hair gummies and I'm just like, and it takes a while.
Yeah, right.
So I'm thinking the THC gummy's not going to work that fast. Well, damn. So I got in the car and I was just like, I was just like, what the frick did you take? And I was like, you gotta go to the gummies.
I don't know what it is, but we're going home right now.
No, I'm sure your husband was like, I'm still going to the seller's house.
No, we had already visited, thank God. We just stopped to eat. And Kia was jumping around. So I said, let me go get the thing. And then I ended up getting gummy. And I stayed asleep the whole night until the next day at 10 in the morning.
Oh my God, that is
move. I was like,
funny.
Natalie.
And she went straight back to the gummy store.
No, I have the box.
Straight back to the bottle.
Someone's on my nerves, I could be selective.
Next day, another 12 hours trying to sleep.
Right.
They work.
That's funny.
We have a friend that's like sells the legal stuff, and it's amazing what that stuff is like nowadays. It's crazy because they do have like the legal amount of THC they can put in it, and they were breaking it down to me like it was like a science class, and I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah, I like it.
And guys, this is related to wholesale.
You will need it.
Real estate, you will need it.
You will need it.
I need to invest in it.
Yeah, real estate is pretty stressful.
It is very stressful.
You need to pack yourself with gummies. Almost where you don't even feel anything.
Yeah, you guys.
And nothing will bother you.
Exactly. Oh, I lost 50,000. No, it's all right.
Be like, I told you need to find peace. A piece of gummy.
Contractor just burned me. Give me a gummy.
There goes another gummy.
Right?
You guys, I mean, you gotta laugh at things. You have to find humor. The one thing we try to bring to a lot of people is the humor in it, because everybody thinks you have to be so stiff. And if you're stiff, then you're going to oversee something that could have just been life-changing by just a smile.
Hey, no worries. We'll throw a gummy in there. Hey, feeling stiff? No worries.
No worries.
Shit, for that, I need a gummy spray.
Right.
Shit,
Let me get my gummy spray.
THC spray. Okay, I heard that. THC spray. If y'all know about it, tell me about it. I'll be spraying everybody. Hey, let me get your hands.
You're getting on my nerves. Like, it's hand sanitizer. Just rub it.
Oh my God, we need to do it. That is too funny.
You're going to know that
we're
going to find something. Oh my God, it's crazy.
Oh my
we
God,
always find something crazy. Let me ask you this. How's it going with you on flips? Are you still flipping or are you wholesaling more?
We have a few flips that we're doing right now that we were working on before everything started to shift. Mm-hmm. We stay in the lower end market, like 250 and below for flips. Mm-hmm. So those houses I think are always going to be in demand. Yeah. And if in case something like the market like just isn't selling, you can turn those into rentals, because those properties are always going to be in demand.
Yeah.
And then wrap it.
Yeah. Because I don't want
that would be the exit strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can, depending on what you,
and wrap it again.
Yeah. And then, so
if it ain't wrapping up, then wrap it again.
She's extra protective. But then you're that way you have multiple exit strategies. If you're doing like a $500,000-$600,000 flip, you could possibly get stuck unless you bought it really, really, really deep.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, but then, with the working class neighborhoods is what I say is like you have multiple exit strategies. If something goes wrong, the way that you've always been able to get yourself out of trouble in real estate is holding.
Yeah.
Like if you hold it, real estate has, even with a crash or a dip or a bubble, whatever you want to call it in the market, real estate has never gone up and dipped and not come back to the point that it was at before and surpassed it ever in the history of real estate.
Right.
That has never happened. So buy and hold is the way out of any situation. If you can, you may need to bring in a partner to do that or something like that. But buy and hold is definitely the way out of any situation. So it's easier to do that with working class properties than.
And that also goes back to always make sure you have good credit, because you can't refi if you ain't got good credit.
Yeah. Yeah. And that on the exit, you're going to have to be ready. So if you're on a 6-month project, and you're going to have to understand that they are going to pull either your business credit or your credit. Start building your business credit, guys. It's really important, because you do want to take that liability out of your name. You can have an LLC, but if you're still using your personal credit or whatever, you've done pierced that corporate veil or that LLC. And the whole purpose of that is so that they don't find you.
And the good thing is
trust.
And trust. Yes, trust is very important.
Christina and I started getting on where we're helping people to build credit just because we realized like how important credit is.
Yeah. And if and the reason why we started that and forming the LLCs, we did that. So, Andrea has her team, I have my team, but we still work together. We're cool like that. Like whatever. But no, we did. We had to go in, one, for ourselves, and two, because credit is something. It is. And it's
everything.
It's kind of that, we started a business in it simply because it was made sense for us. It made sense for us, doing the trust, setting up annuities, all those things. I'm tired of buying properties and keeping them as a responsibility, to say, after dealing with, over so many doors. Let's just say if I was at 80 still, times two people, that's 160. And then two hard-headed ass kids, that's already 320. That's 320 personalities. I could barely deal with my own personalities, all of them in there,
all of my own.
All of my own personalities, much less other people. So you kind of become that tired landlord, but I'm not that tired that I can just affordably give it away, because that is still my life.
Oh, damn. I was going to put you on my list.
Right? I'm be calling you every day. So do you want to sell this address?
I know you mentioned you were a little tired last time.
So what?
I heard tired. I heard motivate. I was tired.
I heard a little motivation in there.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I'm gonna need a slight discount, but I can take care of this headache for you.
Right? I mean, when we were sitting down, you did look tired.
It might have been the gummy.
It was the gummy.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but I have gotten into the I was doing the buy, rehab, rent, refi, but where Boris came in with the keep some, sell some, scale.
You have to.
You have to, and that's where the BR comes in. But then I sell in another format where I'm still not having to buy something else that I don't need. I buy so low, guys. I buy really well, and like I buy well.
That's why she had to stop being my buyer.
One thing, you've always been in working class neighborhoods, and that's what I tell people is because like some people like and you're in that area. You know that area. Some people, like when I try to sell a property to somebody and like you get somebody from the Woodlands and you're trying to sell them something in Fifth Ward, and it could be the best deal in the world. Like I had a 14 unit in Fifth Ward. One of them burned down, so it was only 13, but it was 14 with one burned down, and this is a while back. We were selling it for like 125, and they're like, oh man, and it was worth like 400 fixed up already. It only needed a little bit of work, and it was already cash flowing. But they were like, oh, they drove by and they're like, oh no, I'm gonna have to pass. And it's like, you're not gonna live there. But working class neighborhoods where you're gonna get in at the best prices and you have the most room for growth. Right. Like you buy a house in the Woodlands, how much more is the house going to go up? And if it does appreciate, that's where you're looking at 1% to 3% appreciation. Right. Where in some areas of Houston, like according to HAR, we're appreciating at 21 to 23%.
Yeah.
That's in some areas of Houston, and those are good. And there's no war zones really left in Houston.
Fifth Ward is a good one.
Fifth Ward is a good one. There's no real war zones. Now there's some rougher neighborhoods than others. But like I buy, like right now we just bought some
026.
I love 026 and 028. We have some properties in 026 and 028, and we just bought a multifamily in Cloverleaf, which used to be known really, really bad. We have some in Fifth Ward, Denver Harbor. There's no war zones really that you need to be scared of to buy anymore.
Yeah.
So take advantage of those working class neighborhoods and ride that. I always say you buy based on your equity that you capture now. Appreciation is just a bonus. But like I said, there's never been a time where even if it dips, it's not going back to where it was.
You know, one of the things is my overturn on rentals and being in the community in the neighborhood it's been really good for me, only because I become very relatable with people. Because when I get there and I'm the landlord and I'm collecting rent, they're already pissed off. But I, and I tell them, I said, hey guys, I want you to understand that this isn't just me collecting money. I'm pretty much like a management in the middle, and one day it'll be mine. And then you start educating them a little bit, and they feel like you gave them something, and they understand your world. Because if I drive up with all my jewelry, my shiny car and shoes and everything, they're already disliking you. You have to be likable, but you got to be approachable and you got to be relatable. If you don't have those two things together, then you're going to have a bad community. Like me, when I go walk through my apartments, I'm like, oh my God, girl, like you went over there. They don't tell me nothing but, hey, Miss Franco, what's up? And I'm like, what up, blood? I'm all right.
She just goes dressing right. She has to make sure which apartment she's
I gotta go which ones I'm going to. But they already know. They already know that
they're doing that leg to that leg.
Walking in. I got my pimp walk.
No,
what's up, blood?
Yeah, you have to be relatable. Well, the thing is I came up from the north side, so where was I? In the hood, and basically, I mean, even though my mom moved me to Katy, I was always coming back. That's where I met my husband. So I was like, what's up, blood?
That's how she got it.
Yeah, I like that little fat boy right there. Come here. I was a chubby chaser. Shit. I took that. I snatched that little fat boy. Come on. Yeah. But yeah, 32 years later, I still got a little headache ass. But we worked it out. Yeah, I know it's loyalty. It's all right. Loyalty.
Hey, we love you, Mr. Franco.
But the thing is that, when you come up with solid.
He's like, I ain't the only headache.
I know, right? He just ignores me. He already knows how I am. It's funny because, we started praying together at night, and I told him, I said, because I tell him I want you to pray for me. And he was like, what do I say? I said, fool, if you don't know what to say, he was like, well, what do I say? I said, well, just say whatever comes to mind.
Say whatever you don't like about me.
Yeah. Pray for what you want me to change. Yeah,
then I don't know what happened. He was there for hours.
He never came out the room.
he's there in the morning when I woke up.
He's still praying for me. He's still in the room right now.
He just watched this and he's like, I gotta go back in the room.
There's still some more praying. I see she ain't changed.
Yeah, but I'm serious though. But if you really want, a lot of people, we're in real estate, honestly. And I know, Ceci's a busy woman. She's a tough ass realtor. She's out there. She's still a mom. She's got them kids. And I admire her for that. Like, that is a lot. Like, she does a lot. And I'm like, wow, like she just keeps on ticking. And there's not very many.
Kind of have no other choice.
Yeah. No, shit. There's some that she can afford probably 2-3 nannies,
True, that's
she
true.
makes the decision to make that time. And it was very hard. And I know what it feels like with my kids growing up in the back, going to look at this and look at that, and taking the time and still taking the time to go, not just go show the house, but go to that game, so that's the thing. So I admire her for that.
She's very good at that. Cause like on the weekends, like literally it's all like soccer games and stuff like that. And then she'll fit in a showing if she can.
Yeah.
And I do admire that because like she like most people are like realtor first, mom second.
Yeah, no.
She's mom first, realtor second, but she knocks out so much during the week. And then before like 3:00 when she's literally like, they used to ride the bus. She's like, no, she picks them up in the line now. And then she has them. And then soccer practice every single day, almost their soccer practice. So she's like just on the go all the time with that and very mamified. Yeah. And then the baby's like right there attached on her hip too. Like,
that girl.
Cause she's all about mama. Like, like she loves me too. Like, she's definitely changed my world because we have 5 boys together and that's the only girl. And she's
third generation
girls are
Latina.
Different. Oh, dude, she spoke mostly Spanish until she started going to school and started learning more English. But it's funny because like I don't speak Spanish and she'll speak English to me, but then her grandma comes over, Ceci's mom, and she starts talking to her in Spanish like automatically and like full sentences, talking, everything. It's
that's good.
It's like, man, like she's already got me wrapped around her finger. Like,
of course, she's a doll. She looks like a little Cabbage Patch baby with like beautiful blue eyes and her curly blonde hair.
Yeah, she's so
adorable.
Funny.
Every time I see her, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so cute.
So
she's a cute baby.
And she's got a little attitude. Like she's got that charisma too. Like she's a lot like Ceci. Like the other day, she hurt herself or something, and she's like, we just started laughing because it was funny the way she did. She's like, it's not funny. Don't laugh at me. Like, and it was like, oh my God. It's Ceci.
That's funny.
Oh my God. But kids are life changers. And if you, being in the real estate world and you try to do so much stuff at one time, you start to feel ignored. You start to feel like you're putting me off. You start to feel that. And then come on, I got 3 or 4 businesses going on, big companies going on. So where can a relationship find its time? And you're doing your thing and you're doing that thing. Don't look for pretty. Just ask your partner to pray for you. Say, let's pray together. It really changes the atmosphere. They see it differently. And then you know what? The things that you actually want them to see, they feel it. Because it's inside. It's so different. It's so moving. I just want to throw that in there.
No, that is so awesome that you bring that, because a lot of people leave spirituality and religion out of things, and if you don't have God in your life, and that's just me speaking. I'm not trying to turn anybody from anything else to God or bring people to God, or maybe I am. I don't know.
Hey, God said you bring them.
But
God bless you.
I pray for Ceci all the time, and I believe she prays for me. I think you have to have turn like that. And then along with, your kids, your friends, your family, but you are, God said it's God first, spouse, children, rest of your family, everything like that. So I definitely believe that if you have that focus in your life, it helps bring that peace that you talked about earlier. It helps bring those other things that we were discussing, because without it, you can still have success, but how long is that going to last?
Stressful success.
And how long is that going to last? Because this is a very short time we're here on this earth.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, that is a definite.
And then that's not. I'm not going to about God, but it's why would you even want a life like that? Because it's kind of like it happened to me. You try to do everything yourself. I got this, that, but you never build that relationship. And then you're like, why am I always so stressful? Why I feel like a hamster. Yeah. And then whenever you have the relationship with God, it all makes sense. You have more clarity. What's your purpose? Why am I here? Rather than you telling yourself, well, this is what you should do, or this is what you should do. So you start paying more attention to that inner voice inside of you. No, let's do this or this, pray about things, or pray about decisions before making decisions. And it gives you more clarity. I feel like that's been,
and the people you choose to keep around, you cannot spare, the rod of discipline, not even on your friendships and relationships, discipline meaning, hey, you know what? Got to give you time out. You got to get you out of my space. I'll still keep you there, but it's a little bit of time out. And, you have to dismiss yourself from certain people, because if you want to stay in your peace, you really have to be picky with who you let in your circle. Yes, and I'm telling you, because from a place of peace, from a very,
who's
very
disturbing that peace.
Yeah, I was cuckoo queen back then, and I will tell you that when I found my peace, it has a lot to do with my personal relationship with myself. If you are grounded, and this is what I even told Arson, how can I crack? I'm the foundation of this family. If I lose it, everything above me is going to come down. So being a foundation and a woman, we are the foundation of our families, our men, our relationships, our peers, everything. And if you let something crack that foundation, everything around you will come just falling down. So you have to stay grounded, and you have to build a good foundation, and keeping the foundation right and strong is keeping the bad things out,
Right. What was the movie? My Big Fat Greek Wedding is the man may be the head of the family, but the woman's the neck and can turn the head any way she wants.
Oh God, I remember that. That's my movie, because I'm old as fuck.
I'm I don't know what movie that is. No, I heard of it.
It was a while. It was a while back, but I always remember that part, because Ceci is she's the one that's the keeps everything going. As a man, maybe we may be the head of the family, but that neck guides us in the right direction and keeps you grounded.
Well, I feel like men just know how to do one thing and one thing only. They don't know how to multitask. They're like, well, if I'm doing this, I can't be in control of this, you know? So, and a woman, we adapt to different situations, we're working, then we got to drop off the baby to soccer, then we go into mommy mode, then we go to this mode, versus a guy, they're like, I got to be on work mode all the time.
I was watching this psychological study thing the other day that I study all these courses and stuff, and I don't even remember which one this was, but it was talking about how men think compartmentalized. So we're working on this right now, and then we'll work on this, then we'll work on this. Women's minds work like spaghetti. Exactly. It's 100 different things going on at the same time, and somehow y'all keep it organized.
Yeah.
That's so true.
At least to a point.
Well, that's true because that's how George is. Like my husband, I'm like just throwing all these things,
Mhm.
and he's like, "No, you work like that. I have to finish doing what I'm doing here, and then I'll move on to the next thing. But I can't be here, there. Like you're pushing me everywhere. Like, and I'm like, what the heck you mean? I do it that way, so why?
Yeah.
But I just realized, just man is like just one
We're
thing,
just
you
made
know,
like
like.
that. Yeah, we're noodles.
Yeah. And it's recognizing the difference that makes and accepting somebody for the way they are and who they are, rather than trying to change people all the time. Because when you accept somebody for the way they are, you just know who they are and the way they are and the way they operate.
Yeah,
I learned.
I'm gonna need you to
ever do
speed up
Landmark?
that operation.
No.
What
So
is it?
Landmark Worldwide, it's a self-development kind of class thing, and it's worldwide, but there's one in Houston, and that
Landmark.
completely changed my life. Landmark, like it just helped me see it. It helps you get rid of it helps you build tools and distinctions for dealing with life.
Mhm.
What is and what's a story? Like
Right.
what really happened that you're dealing with, and
What
what is the
happened
story?
was-
What happened was this, but I made it mean.
Yeah.
But
this.
that is really you're right about that, because and that's exactly what happens in life.
Mhm.
We create stories that
Yeah.
don't ever even happen sometimes,
Mhm.
but and that's what I feel like a lot of people don't make it, because they create the whole story for them, and they're like, damn, if this is it, I'm done, I'm doomed, because in their mind
This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. In
and
reality, none of it happens.
none of it happened, and you were stressing, and that happened to me, and that's why I had to learn, just stop, like let go. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. Stop trying to control it. Like just let it go. Because we create a story in our head that, oh my God, and that's where the sleepless nights come in. That's where you go crazy and you're always looking like a maniac.
Well, even from childhood, sometimes we have stories that run our whole lives. It's like, my dad never went to my baseball games.
Yeah.
And then you talk to dad, and when you're 40 years old and you're like, Dad, I resented that you never went to my baseball
Like,
games.
I was in the benches.
He's like,
the whole time.
The only way we could afford your baseball tuition and your baseball equipment was because I had to work all this extra overtime. And you're like, oh man, like I've been
this whole time
thinking this about my dad the whole time, and really he was doing his best for me to be able to play baseball. You know what I mean? It's like we have make up these stories that don't have anything to do with reality.
And I think that's where communication comes in. It's okay to be open with your kids, to let them know that some things just aren't okay right now, to an extent. You know, maybe, mom is a little bit short on a couple hours. We're going to kind of cut back. I mean, we'll probably just eat the pizza and watch a movie at home, and they will appreciate that 1 hour of pizza versus the 3 hours at Chuck E. Cheese, because it was so intimate. It was intimate. Build intimate.
Girl, not my daughter. My daughter's like, I want the Chuck E. Cheese.
Right. That's where it comes in. You tell them, well, how can we afford Chuck E. Cheese? And then your kids go, well, we could sell some tacos.
Right. My kids.
Right?
Yeah. It's so funny because my husband's so freaking looks at me like I'm a wacky quacky, whatever, wacky tobacco. It's the wacky tobacco. Yeah, it's the wacky tobacco. But I've been looking at this little coffee bus, right? And then I want to show my grandkids how to work, how to do things, not just the real estate, but do fun things.
Yeah, that sounds
do
fun.
Fun things. So,
Shit, call me when you do it. I'll go with you.
It's coming soon, guys. It's coming soon. Yeah. So I've been looking at this little coffee truck, and
you can call it the Starbus.
no, oh my god, I might take that name. No, but I want to call it the Hustle Hut. Yeah, the Hustle Hut, because coffee is about the hustle, and you're always on the move. So I want to put little tables or whatever, and then have my grandkids out there with me, just when it's cold only, because I turn on the coffee
chocolate.
when it's cold.
Hot chocolate.
Yeah, hot chocolate and
Tell
a
me
little
where
bakery.
you guys will be.
Yeah,
Oh man, see now you're talking about food now. Now I'm over here picturing.
She's always hungry. Yeah, I don't know where she puts it though, guys. It just went goes right there. She's
and
so
now I'm over here
metabolized.
picturing. As soon as it goes in, it goes right. I'm like, I'll be back, guys.
I know. Andrea. Yeah, she's real. No, but I still teach your kids things. Don't just give them the computer or the phones and just leave them there. I mean, my grandkids have learned a lot from Coco Melon and stuff, but also, let them know how to color, use their hands, draw things or play with a Rubik's Cube, weird things. Let them use their hands. Let them use
That's
their
the grandma
minds.
talking, right?
Hey,
right.
I'll tell you,
You're grandma now. I'm over
my
here.
grandkids, I always have in my car.
I'm
I
sure-
will always carry a backpack with crayons, color color books, the Rubik's cubes. Like I have all that stuff just so that, and blankets and wipies and I have like a little box. Like, oh my God. And it's because my grandkids, you know, I don't know when one's going to show up.
Right.
So,
When one's gonna show up?
yeah,
They do. They have everything for everything. I'm like, man, they have like 4 bikes, for this, for that.
Oh my God.
I love their house. I'm like, man.
She's like, I go over just to
I was like,
Oh, did y'all see the pirate ship? It ended up
did.
not
Oh.
falling apart.
I saw that the golf cart on the it was a golf cart, right?
It's a golf
With
cart,
the-
and we put the pirate ship thing over
yeah.
it. Yeah, and so I got.
You didn't do that just for Halloween, right? You
Yeah.
did- Oh, I thought y'all were just wanted a pirate ship.
No, but my pirates. They
Hey,
turned
she
into
woke up one day. I want a pirate ship.
You're like,
Yeah.
I love Johnny Depp.
Yeah. I was like, we can all be pirates. And I said, man, this shit's going to fall apart. And then one of the doors fell apart because it got wet because it's just that old paneling.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
it's paneling or whatever. You just kind of stick it on there. And then when we put the thing on the top, it just like, it tipped it. It looked so great. And so I was driving down the neighborhood. I got all the yays and whatever. I felt badass.
The yays.
I told the kids, get off. And I just started driving.
Get off. You're slowing me down.
This was just meant for me.
I was driving around the neighborhood and everybody.
She got all the yays. She's like, get off, kids.
Yeah, get off. It's
I can't
about
tell if
me
they're for
now.
you or for me, so y'all gotta go.
Yeah.
I need to do the test.
I got all into it. I was driving around and I felt like a kid. But that's
That
what
is
it is
so
sometimes.
funny.
You got to get into that inner youthful self. You know,
Mhm.
we can't always be on mommy and daddy and grandma mode. You know, you got to be that kid inside. You got to go run and play. Don't just give them the ball. Go play with the ball. You know, do those things. And that's what I think the family unity just keeps breaking off and it just keeps chipping down in bits and pieces because we find things to entertain their little minds, you know?
I was gonna say that's probably my biggest issue is my wife says it's like having another kid. So she's like, we got 6 boys and a girl because like dude, when I was selling my house to move with her out to Tomball, it's like I came home, she was listing my house and like I have my 4-foot, 5-foot Darth Vader, and it was in a pile of trash by the front door. My lightsabers, all my like knickknacks. I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "That's all trash." I was like, "That is not trash."
You're like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? But now she makes me keep it all at the office. I can't keep none of that stuff out. But I'm like another kid, so maybe that helps. That helps me keep my stress level down.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
raise
same.
hers.
It,
It raises hers, but it keeps mine down. Yeah,
man, it is so crazy.
yeah. Ceci has a lot to deal with. Me.
Yeah, poor Ceci. You're good, Ceci. You're good.
She is.
Shout
I feel
out
bad
to
for her
Ceci.
sometimes.
I'm sure a lot of like I feel bad for moms too.
Mhm.
It's a lot. I'm a mom, so
Yeah.
I already know. I'm like, man, I feel bad for moms. It's like
Yeah.
this is not fair.
Yeah.
I always say
Yeah.
it's not fair because we're always gonna do more, and it's in our instincts to do more. And for men, it's like, oh, they got it. You know,
Yeah.
they're the moms. They got
Oh,
supposed
but
to
it
take care of
doesn't
it.
stop
Yeah.
there. Wait till you become an empty nester. You're like, shit, what do I do? You know, what do I
Yeah.
do? That's why they say, so now I'm gonna go get my little coffee cart.
Now I'm gonna get my coffee cart.
No,
Or
she's
make tacos.
she's gonna do that. Her what is it that
My Herbalife buzz. Hey, I love Herbalife, guys.
I love
'cause
her.
this-
I used to sell Herbalife.
Really?
Like when I did a lot of business before I got into real
Yeah.
estate.
So
I had
now you know why my
I
husband
had
didn't
furniture
trust me.
store online. I had a radio, like car radios, car
Uh-huh.
systems, and then Herbalife, and then
Uh-huh.
selling like something through catalogs, all these knickknacks and stuff.
You know,
and then
I think
found
when
real
you
estate.
had that, because I was like that too, like Mary Kay or
Yeah.
Life, whatever, and I was really good at it.
Yeah.
And it's like you're gonna be a really good salesperson.
I think
Oh,
you're an
yeah.
entrepreneur from young. Like I remember
Mhm.
selling stuff at school,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
like candies and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's funny because when I go to these masterminds with all these other people from across the country and the people that are high level, they're like, well, somebody was telling me, like, man, I used to roll toothpicks in cinnamon and water at night and soak them in and sell them for 25 cents at school. And I
Oh
was like,
my
wow.
God.
And another
That's
person was like,
smart.
I'd buy all these cool pens and pencils and sell them at school. And like, it's everybody
Yeah,
had
that's-
something. It was
yeah.
like, it's like, wow, okay, well,
Yeah.
I wasn't the strange one.
Well,
That's
that's a true salesperson. And,
Yeah.
and if you're a mom and you see that you have a kid like that,
I have
that's
a
your
kid
golden
like that.
nugget.
Especially
That
when
is
you
your
don't have a
golden
lot of,
ticket.
I was raised by my grandparents,
Mhm.
like my grandmother and my grandfather. And then my aunt, who's like my mom now, she was kind of around, but she was married at the time and stuff. But it was mostly my grandmother and grandfather. And they put all their money together, and my uncle and everything, to put all their money together to put me in private school.
Mhm.
So I was a kid at private school with Payless shoes. You know what I mean? So
Red wings,
and
red
believe me,
wings.
they notice.
Yeah.
They notice. Like,
Yeah.
and then like we had the not nicest car.
Yeah.
So I would be the first one out of school to get there. But like you try to find ways to make money.
Yeah.
And like I've always been an entrepreneur. Like I think like, you know, my first car I bought when I was like 15 years old for $700 from money I made cutting grass.
Yeah.
Like, or lining up. I had a guy that would cut the grass, and then I would line up. I was the salesperson, and then the guy I would pay to cut the grass. But like some kind of entrepreneurship.
Let me tell you how I got my first car, and it was like 16, but it was because our bus at school got into a car accident, and so like everyone, of course, I was like, oh, my neck.
Whiplash, everybody whiplash.
So, but then they gave me money because of that accident.
Yeah.
So I was like, I bought my first car that way. But hey, I bought my first car.
Well, yeah, it was invested.
Right. But it was like, hey, I'm like, opportunity, right?
Right.
That's funny. But yeah, anyways,
so
go on. I just
crazy.
thought I'd share that because it's kind of like
Yeah.
it makes you think like, hey, you know, it's like
How do I get in more car accidents? No.
right? Need to get on more buses. Right? How do I get this bus to get on a car accident?
Oh my God.
Can I stop in front of the bus?
Hey, it
Oh,
started
make
thinking
it.
different, right? Yeah,
Oh,
so
God.
hey, watch people start doing that.
Right.
My God.
Insurance companies are watching us right now. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna watch these people.
I knew it.
You're like, I knew it. I knew that little 7th grader was lying.
It's like my neck was fine.
Hey, I was doing the dirt.
And you got to write those down. Those are
Oh
our
my
moments.
God.
We write down
Right?
the untrained moments. Yeah. But man, so guys, we talk about how random we are, like on our podcast. How'd you like it so far?
I love it. I love the
Yeah.
atmosphere. It's a lot of fun. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like just straight line and cold like some places are. And,
No.
and you know,
Gotta sit up tight.
yeah, and you got to be like,
Don't breathe.
well, an affidavit of airship works like this.
According to my attorney.
Yeah, a legal disclaimer.
But I will tell you something, guys. And if you really paid attention today, we went over a lot of things. We touched on, character. We touched on relationships. We touched on, humility, being a little bit humble, doing it, being teachable, being coachable, systems and processes, how
Which
we
we
work.
need to touch base on those more.
Yeah. how we really negotiate and work our business, because we're business people and we're salespeople. If you don't know how to do anything, you really need to learn how to sell. I don't care if it start with the multi-level marketing thing and go hang around Herbalife. I promise you will learn how
You'll
to
learn
be
how
a
to sell there.
Mexican
salesperson.
ladies, they'll teach you how to sell.
Yeah, you will learn. And you picked up on all these things. And in a cool setback environment, that's why we try to bring this to you, because we think it's really important. And we know that AC has a coaching program.
Yes.
Right. Okay. And then, so you can always reach out to AC about those things. And then he has a platform, if y'all want to keep up with all y'all's information for your deals. That's what it's for, right?
Your lead.
Yeah, it's a CRM.
It's a
It's a
CRM.
CRM,
so-
and it also has leads and everything.
Mhm. Yeah. So you need to do that. And AC has networking events.
Yes, every second Thursday of the month, we're over at McIntyre's in the Heights.
I've never been to the one in McIntyre.
Oh, you need to come. It's
Yeah,
like
Let's go to the next
it's-
one.
it's
What is
fun.
it?
every second Thursday. So it's gonna
next Thursday.
This
be
Thursday?
not this Thursday because this is the first Thursday.
Okay,
The next Thursday.
So next Thursday,
Okay, I'm
guys.
here.
Yeah, McIntyre's in the Heights, and it's really cool.
I'm going to
It's
put
like-
that information in the link so y'all can go and really start. If you go to network, look at your environment, meet people, make sure you're going to shake hands. Don't stand there with the beer or a water in your hand. Really go out and
Make
speed
sure you buy
network.
shots.
Yeah,
I actually
shots.
buy drinks until 7 p.m.
You
So
buy
come and
drinks
get
till
free
7.
drinks from 6 to 7.
Yeah. So
There
you
you
really
go.
want to go out there.
I'm
Go
there.
go for the networking. I will tell you, if you go for the networking, there's a lot of people there that are doing the business, that have been in the business, that have, and go for the folks that can share their bads and their goods. If they're all good, then goddamn well, they ain't doing nothing.
Yeah,
And let me give
yeah.
you a
That's
tip.
true.
The more drinks you buy them, the more things you get out of them.
Right?
I'll tell you, boy. Anything else you want to share?
Man, that's about it. I mean, if you need to get a hold of me, you can reach me at support@prosperitygroup.com.
Support at prosperitygroup.com. And their group name is Prosperity Group. And if you need a realtor, they can reach out to Ceci.
Yeah, Ceci. Yeah, through support at prosperitygroup.com, it'll all get to her.
Ceci, did you
Ceci,
see that?
Well, I like she has so many email addresses.
Yeah.
Or Cecilia, I think it
Cecilia
might be
Ramos.
It's
Ceci.
okay. We'll just reach out Prosperity.
Yeah, we'll tag her. We'll tag her.
That's it.
She's with Next Gen, so I don't know which
Yeah,
one her email is there.
Yeah, okay, good save.
We'll let you ride.
Oh no, we
We'll let
refer
you-
all our listings to her from our team and everything. So yeah.
Man, I tell you. Well, guys, we want to thank you for today for really tuning in. I see a lot of y'all really hung in there. If anybody's
you.
looking for some coaching and stuff, I really recommend AC Ramos. That is where I started. That is how I got, my legacy going. And there he is. He's still there to build more legacies. So, and remember, if y'all need any credit repair, building, planning to do your LLC or trust, you can always reach out to us and we'll see what we could do.
Nice. Thank you guys. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you on the next one.
Thank you.
Bye.